Good. So, Friday, another week, time to slow down. So, a really nice, well, hopefully you'll find it really nice, but a nice chilled out one today. You might need a couple of blankets or a cushion when we come up to sit. But if not, it's just our good selves. So, we're going to start lying down. We'll kind of bring ourselves up slowly. I'm going to stay seated for a minute just so I can let anybody in who joins us a little bit later. But we are going to start by lying down, but we're going to, rather than just kind of flop down with that Friday feeling, let's kind of place ourselves, think about how we're placing that which touches the earth carefully this morning. So we'll start with our feet on the floor, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Let's just interlace the hands. Just cradle your head in your hands, lifting your head just a little ways off the floor, a couple of inches or so, and just have a little rock side to side. Just almost let the weight of the head fall into your hands there. So just taking the pressure off all those tiny muscles and vertebrae at the top of the neck. Lovely. And then just dropping your chin ever so slightly in towards your chest. Think about now just easing your hands up and away from you. So you're kind of elongating the neck. So there's a little bit of lengthening, arms drawing or hands drawing up. So you want to kind of pull your ears away from your neck there. And keep that little bit of length through the neck as you gently bring the head down onto the floor. Bringing the hands down alongside you. And then thinking about your upper back, just arch your back. So puff up your chest and see if you can snuggle your shoulder blades a little bit closer towards one another and down away from your ears. So as you just allow the back to settle, the chest to sink, you can feel a little bit of space has been created. And then pressing to all four corners of your feet, or just come down to the lower back. Just lift the hips just an inch or so from the floor. And like a little hammock, have a swing gently of your hips from side to side. So just releasing the muscles around the lower back. Try and avoid clenching your buttocks. So try and relax your bottom. It's really hard to do that. The buttocks and the glutes and the hamstrings want to kind of fire up there. But see if you can relax. Just have a little swing side to side. And then as you lower your hips down, think about lengthening your tailbone away from you. So as we settle ourselves down this morning, we've hopefully, even just in the first couple of minutes, just brought ourselves a little bit more awareness into our back bodies, into how we're feeling this morning. I'm just going to come and sit up so I can talk to you, let anyone in. Allow the arms to settle in a comfortable position. You might want them down alongside you this morning, or if you're feeling a little bit discombobulated, a hand on your chest, a reassuring hand on your belly might feel really comforting and comfortable. Closing the eyes and just take a little roll across the back of your head. A little rock side to side. And then as you come back to center, very gently press the back of your head into the mat. And you might find all the muscles around your neck, maybe even into your jaw, tense up. Just hold that for a second. And then relax that completely. Little rock, roll across the back of the head, so the ear dropping down to the shoulder. Take it really slow. And then come back to center, and just once more, pressing very gently, so you don't want to overdo this. Press the back of your head into the floor. And again, feel those muscles charge up. And then relax. Softening your jaw now, allow the body to settle into stillness. And as we just begin by taking a moment to arrive in our practice, grounding ourselves, connecting with your breath and your body. And particularly at the end of the week, when perhaps we've been subsumed with busyness, lots of things to do, to think about, really important to take that moment to connect, to drop into that feeling of being present right here, right now. And just invite yourself into this space that you've carved out for you at the end of the week. Letting it be just what you need today, a little bit of nurturing, a little bit of restoring, time for yourselves. You might find just as we take a moment to pause that the mind will wander into the past, mulling over the week, or perhaps forwards to the inevitable to-do list that we have for the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend. Or we might even, in the present moment, begin to have more judgmental thoughts about ourselves. I've not got time for this, I ought to be doing something else for someone else. So kind of accept it's natural to have these thoughts for the mind to wander. So we don't have to worry about this process or expend any energy fighting it, just let it be. Nothing wrong with having a busy mind or even an agitated body at the beginning of a practice. But each time that happens, just try to effortlessly glide back to this moment, to this feeling of your breath, this feeling of connection with that which touches the earth, the back of the body. So as we ease ourselves into our practice this morning, really moving with awareness, with no sense of haste or speed, no feelings of ought or should, just doing what feels nice today. So we'll start our practice lying down on the floor by bringing one knee and then the other in towards your chest. And with one hand on each knee, just start a little circle there. It might be a big circle, it might be much smaller, so we're just circling the knees around one way. So we're beginning by just releasing the muscles around the lower back, around tops of the buttocks there, giving them a gentle massage. Just reversing that just for a few circles there, just taking the knees round. It should feel really nice just to almost earth yourself there. Pressing the lower back into the floor, beautiful. And then we'll bring the knees in towards your chest. If you can hug them in a little bit more tightly, so you might even lift your lower back off the floor a little bit. And if it's comfortable, bring your nose towards your knees as you're curled up into a tight little ball. Chin to chest, you're stretching out the lower and the uppermost reaches of the spine. And then head and shoulders come down first. And then one foot and then the other. Hip width apart, feet facing forwards and the heels in line with your sit bones. Lovely. So pressing into all four corners of your feet, you might even want to lift and spread your toes and then place them back down onto the floor, creating a little bit of space. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, let's slowly start to lift the back body from the floor, coming up into a very gentle bridge, as high as feels comfortable for you. Inhale when you reach that point that feels comfortable for you. And as you exhale, let's try and elongate the spine all the way back down to the floor. Taking a nice breath in at the bottom. And exhale will ripple up. So again, that kind of pressing into the waistband of your trousers. So you peel up the lower back, the middle back, maybe coming up a little bit higher. Pausing at the top as you inhale. And exhale will ripple all the way down. Just going to do that once more. Just notice what your hands are doing. So inhale. So as you exhale, press into your feet. Make sure that your fingertips aren't beginning to perforate your mat. So the arms are relaxed, the hands are loose. We're really working the wakening up the back seam of the body. Inhale at that toppermost point for you before we exhale, and like a wave, slowly release the spine all the way back down. Lovely. And we'll keep the back body on the floor, but this time we'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing away from you, and then slowly, let's reach them back behind you, pausing in this first one. And if the chest starts to arch and you feel your upper back lift from the mat, take your arms out in a nice wide V shape. And then when you're ready, we'll point the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then slowly earth the palms to the floor, lowering the arms. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. And let that exhale carry them back behind the head. Remember, you can take them out to a nice wide V, stretching the arms back. Inhale as you reach both arms up towards the ceiling. And keep the fingers spread as you come all the way back down. Lovely, twice more. So just beginning to mobilize gently. So this Friday, class is always a chance to move a little bit slower, a little bit more restorative in nature. So last one, chance to let our minds catch up with our bodies catch up with our breath. Lovely. And exhale, palms touch down alongside you. So this time we'll just bring both arms up towards the ceiling, and just get that heaviness across your shoulder blades. So really feel that the backs of the shoulders are connected to the mat. We'll take an inhale, and this time as you exhale, right arm back, left arm down alongside you. So you're getting that lovely lateral stretch across the chest, like a backstroke. Inhale, bring both arms back to center, and then change sides as you exhale. So one arm going back, the other arm coming down, working with the breath. So just continuing now in your steady breath pattern, and try and reach the fingertips in opposite directions as one arm goes back and the other arm comes down to the floor. So you're getting a little bit of stretch across the chest. Lovely. Let's do one more with the right arm coming back behind you and the left arm reaching down. So it's like a little backstroke action. And then we'll do one more with the left arm back. Lovely. And then we'll come all the way back through center, and then just release both arms down to the floor. Lovely. So we're going to add a little bit. So it's a great one for the brain as well, this one. So I know I'm going to get confused. So that's the state of my mind. So feet on the floor. Make sure you've got some space in front of you, because we're going to add a leg elongation. So we'll get some nice stretch out through the whole of the front seam of the body. So arms reach up. Beautiful. So as you reach your right arm back, left arm down, you're going to stretch your left leg out. So slide the left heel away from you. So you're getting a lovely diagonal stretch across the body. Kick out through the heel as you reach back through the fingertips. And then we'll slide the heel back as both arms come back up to center. Lovely. So this time as the left arm comes back, we bring the right arm down and slide the right heel away from you. So we've got opposite arm to leg extending. And then we'll come all the way back. Now you've got to do it with the breath. So inhale, exhale, right arm back, left arm down and left leg extending. Inhale through center, and then changing sides. So left arm back, right arm down, right leg extending. Really stretching out through the body. We'll do one more each way. So it's a really good one to connect body and movement, body and brain. If you're stretching the other leg, it really doesn't matter. Nothing bad will happen. So left arm reaching back, right leg stretching out. Beautiful. And then we'll come all the way back through center and bring the knees in towards the chest one more time. Have a little rock side to side. So we're going to do an add-on to begin to wake up through the front of the body. So either staying with what we've just done, or see if you can bring your heels away from your bottom so your shins are parallel to the floor, and then just bring your knees in line with your hips. So your knees aren't in towards your chest, you've got your knees on top of your hips. If your back is arching, you can always bring your feet to the floor and do what we've just done. Hollow out through the belly, and we'll reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Turn the palms away from you. Lovely. So right arm reaching back, left arm coming down, and stretch the left leg out in front of you. Heel hovers, right knee stays where it is. Lovely. And then come all the way back into center, knees above your hips there. Lovely. Changing sides. So left arm going back, right leg extending, right arm coming down, heel hoppers, flex the foot, stretch, stretch, stretch. Lovely. Come all the way back. Inhale. Exhale, right arm back, left arm down, left leg extending, kick out through the heel. Inhale through center. And one more time. So remember, you can keep the heels on the floor. How are we doing? Beautiful. Come all the way back through center. Drop the heels, hands on the knees, and take the knees round in a circle. Now you can stay here with your hands on your knees, or if you want to further awaken up through our front body, bring your knees in towards your chest and bring the arms out level with the shoulders. Snuggle the shoulder blades into the floor, and then continue that circling of the knees. So you might find your lower back starts to arch a little bit. So we're just working the core to control that. Might be big circles, might be small circles. And then whatever you're doing, either with your hands on the knees or the arms out alongside you, let's bring the knees back the opposite way. So if you've got your arms extended, you might feel that you're having to just wake up through your center. Circling the knees round, lovely. And then we'll bring the knees in towards your chest. If you've got your hands on your knees, bring the arms out level with the shoulders. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's drop the knees halfway over to the right. Maybe rolling your chin to your left shoulder. Inhale, come back through center. Exhaling, knees to the left. Maybe chin to right shoulder, lovely. Just work with the breath. So you're not coming down towards the floor. You're just coming down halfway, so you're keeping the opposite shoulder blade. Dropping down into the floor. One more over to the left. Now, option to do a couple more like this, or once more, if you want a little bit more, lift your heels away from your bottom, shins parallel to the floor, knees above hips. So as you drop the knees down, you've got a kind of 90-degree angle at the back of the knees. Inhale through center. You've made those legs a little bit longer, so your core is having to work a little bit harder. Let's come all the way back through center. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the knees all the way down to the right side this time. So adjusting as necessary. You can take your feet a little further away from you or scoop your knees up towards your chest. We'll bring your left fingertips to your left shoulder and just start to circle the elbow there. So you're making circles with the elbow. So we're just doing a little bit of shoulder mobilization while we're in that twist. Lovely. And then we'll release that left arm out level with the shoulder. Take a big inhale as you bring the knees back in towards your chest, and as you exhale, we'll drop the knees over to the left. So you can always pop a cushion or that pillow underneath your knees if they don't quite touch the floor, or just slide your feet away from you. You can stay there reaching the arms apart, or this time right fingertips to right shoulder, and just draw some circles with the elbow there. So you might feel a little bit of clicking and crunching going on underneath your fingertips there as we warm up through the shoulders. Beautiful. And then we'll reach both arms out. Use an inhale to come all the way back through center. Hands to the knees, hook the ankles, take the knees wider apart. Have a little circle through the knees. And we're going to find our way up to seated. So decide what's going to work for you this morning, either holding on behind your knees, rolling up to seated. You can have a little roll up and down a couple of times before you find your way up. Woo, space permitting. Or just roll to one side. Beautiful. So you might want your cushion, your pillow, your blanket underneath your hips there to help elevate the spine and to drop the hips slightly forwards. Beautiful. So find a nice, comfortable seated position. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You might want to stretch the legs out in front of you. Beautiful. We'll just bring the hands onto your knees so you can soften the shoulders. Beautiful. And we'll start just by doing some shoulder rolls. So a little bit of work for the upper back now. So rolling the shoulders. Ooh, and really kind of exaggerate that movement there, making it as big as you can. And then we'll take that round the opposite way. So one way always feels more kind of comfortable than the other. Lovely. And then we'll shrug the shoulders all the way up. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, let them drop. So gather up all of that tension you've kind of accumulated from the week. Take an inhale. Exhale, let them drop once more. This is a really good one to do at your desk if you can feel your shoulders around your eyes. Big breath in. And then let them drop. Let them stay nice and heavy now as though a velvet cloak has just settled around your shoulders. As you drop your chin down towards your chest without the body pitching forwards, just start a little roll of your chin from side to side. So you're almost tracing the path of your collarbones. So ear to shoulder, loosening off through the neck. You can close the eyes, come back to relaxing the muscles of the face. Lovely. And then we'll come all the way back through center. Just lift your chin so it's parallel with the floor. And you're going to think about your nose leading this next movement as you start to draw a really small circle with your nose. So the nose is leading, little circles. And then maybe start to make that circle a little bit bigger. Go really slowly so you don't get giddy. And only go as far as your neck feels comfortable, but your nose is drawing that circle. And when you get to the widest point, the biggest point of your circle, circumference was the word I was looking for, we'll come back the opposite way, but this time we're coming in an ever decreasing spiral. So making that circle smaller. You can always do this lying on the floor as well, just almost drawing a circle on the ceiling imaginary with your nose. Lovely. We'll come all the way back to center. Sitting up nice and tall, fingertips finding the floor now, and we'll drop right ear to right shoulder. Keep the body sitting up nice and tall, drop the weight into your opposite sit bone, and just walk the left fingertips a little further away from you. You can stay here, or bring that right arm up and over just to the top of the ear. You've just got your hand resting very easily on the top of your head. Now again, you can stay here just very gently, letting the weight of your hand draw the head down. Or again, go easy with this one. Begin to press your head against your hand and your hand into your head. A little bit of resistance there. Just hold for a moment and then relax that resistance. Do that once more. So pressing head into hand, hand into head. And then relax. See if you can walk that left hand a little further away. Maybe even lift the palm off the floor and flex the wrist. Lovely. And then we'll bring the fingertips down. Bring that right arm all the way back down, chin to chest. And then rolling over to other side, left ear, left shoulder. Right fingertips walk away. And then if you wish, left hand comes all the way up and over, finding the top of the ear there. Very gently. Lovely, there it is. And then you press your head into your hand, hand resists. Just pause, feel that stretch. And then just relax, relax, relax. So once more, head into hand, hand into head, a little bit of resistance. And then relax, relax that resistance. See if you can walk the right fingertips a little further away. And maybe even lift the palm, flex the wrist. Ooh. And bring the hand down to the floor, bring the left hand down. Chin rolls to the chest, lovely. We'll walk the hands behind you. Just uncross the legs a minute. Let's take it out the legs. Bring the feet to the floor, hip width apart. And really press into your hands so you feel a lovely elevation through your chest. And then keep that elevation, keep the shoulders looped away from your ears as you just take a little look over one shoulder. And then over the other shoulder. One more. So you're lifting up through the chest. If you don't like that little head turn, then just kind of look straight in front of you. Beautiful. We'll come back through center, cross the legs the opposite way. Last one seated. Or you can always stretch them out if your legs have had enough. We're going to bring the hands together at the heart with the fingers joined. So pressing the palms gently together. Start to open the fingers. You're opening your fingers as wide as you can, but you've got your thumb towards your breastbone. And then slowly closing the fingers. So pressing the palms together as you inhale, fan the fingers out as wide as you can. And then slowly bring them back together. One more. So inhale to fan the fingers, pressing the palms together. And then release. Lovely. Interlace the hands. Press the palms forwards and up. Lovely. Stretch out through the side body. Grow as tall as you can. Try and drop the shoulder girdle down. The back, take an inhale, and as you exhale, we'll drop the arms forwards, hollow out through the belly, get a nice stretch out through the upper back. Lovely. And then lift the chest, keep the arms where they are, just level with the chest, take an inhale. Exhale, take a twist to the right, keeping both arms straight. So you're not going to move very far. Lovely. Inhale through center. Exhale over to the left, both arms stay straight, so you're not bending that left arm. Lovely, come all the way back through center. Inhale, reach the arms up, grow really tall. Exhale, hollow out through the belly as you round the back. Inhale as you sit up nice and tall. Exhale, take that twist to the right, so shoulders away from ears, push the palms forwards, arms stay straight. Inhale through center. Exhaling over to the left. Oh, it's a nice stretch out through the back. Come all the way back through center. Reach the arms out in front of you, separate the hands, and just give the wrists a little twirl there. Lovely. A couple of times each way. Shake the hands off. And then we'll do a nice side stretch with a little variation here. So fingers find the floor. So left hand stays on the floor. You're going to reach the right arm up and then bend the elbow and see if you can bring your fingertips just towards the base of your neck or even sliding down between your shoulder blades. Keep the body nice and upright. Hug that elbow in towards your ear and take a side stretch to the left. Try and keep the body nice and upright. Lovely. Inhale, come back through center. And as you exhale, left arm windmills all the way up and over. Lovely. Inhale, come all the way up. Right arm bends, fingertips finding the base of the neck. Exhale, take that little side stretch. Elbow hugs in. Inhale through center. Exhale as you windmill that left arm over. Keep heavy through the sit bones. Once more, inhaling, bending right arm. Fingertips finding the neck or between the shoulder blades. Exhale as you stretch to the side. Elbow hugs in. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Inhaling, reaching both arms up. Exhale, take a twist to the left. Right hand finding your knee or your thigh. Other hand behind you. Gently pressing your fingertips to the floor so you're nice and upright through the spine. Lovely, reaching both arms up, inhale back to the center. Take that little twist in the opposite direction. So left hand this time, finding knee or thigh. I should wear light leggings. My legs kind of blend into my mat, don't I? Let's come all the way back through center. Hands alongside the hips. We're going to try that with the left arm this time. So reaching left arm up. And as you bend the elbow, you can either just bring the fingertips to the back of the head or see if you can slide them further down. Elbow hugs in. Take that little side stretch. You're really opening up through the side body. Keep the elbow hugged in. Come back through center, left hand finding the floor, right arm all the way up and over. Should we add the breath? Yay! Inhale, reaching up, bending left arm. Exhale, take that side stretch so the elbow's hugged in close to the side of the head. Release as you inhale. Exhale, take that lovely side stretch. It's a really nice variation, this. I don't know where I found it. The inhale, reaching up last time. Exhale, coming over to the right. One side always feels a bit easier as well, doesn't it? Inhale. Or is that just me? Exhale. Reaching both arms up as you inhale. Let's take that little twist to the right. So left arm coming round this time. Fingertips finding the floor behind you so you're sitting up nice and tall. Maybe the head's turning or you're keeping the gaze a little bit more neutral. Both arms reaching up, take an inhale, and we take the exhale over to the other side. Last time in that twist, last time on our bottoms before we move on to all fours. Lovely. So we'll find our way back to center. I'm going to plant my hands and roll over my ankles to find my way onto all fours, but if that variation doesn't work for you, just uncross everything and we'll make our way to all fours. Let me roll these up so you can see my legs a little bit. Hands under the shoulders. Take the knees a little wider apart than hip width, and we'll start just by drawing some circles. So the hands are spread. So we're getting a little bit into the wrists here and into our hands, as well as just mobilizing into our hips. So depending on how your wrists feel, you can carry on doing this or come to stillness and just turn your right hand towards you. So your fingertips are facing in towards you. And you do that little circle. So you're trying to keep the underside of your wrist or the palm on the floor. So it might be a little movement. If that's not for you, you can just turn your fingertips maybe out to the side a little bit. Lovely. And then we'll turn the fingertips forwards, changing hands. So left hand turning inwards, so fingertips are facing your knee. And again, you do that little circle. And oh, you might find that one side feels distinctly stiffer. So again, if that doesn't work for you, then just keep the fingertips pointing forwards or just turn the fingers out to the side. Lovely. We'll come back through center. Just give each hand a little bit of a shake out there. Oh, that's woken up the wrists. Hands under shoulders, bringing the knees underneath your hips now, pressing into your hands. So pressing into those beautifully warmed up hands now to find that lovely tabletop position. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's round up like an angry cat. Inhaling, dip the belly this time, lift the heart, tailbone points up and back. Exhale as you round up, angry cat. Do a couple more like that, just allowing the body to find a kind of pace and speed and range of movement that feels good and comfortable, but at the same time gives you that sense of stretch. Lovely. Let's keep that lovely angry cat shape now, that lovely rounded back. And see if you can bring your hips down towards your heels, keeping that lovely rounding through your back. Bottom finding heels. Walk the arms forwards. If you can, coming up onto your fingertips, maybe have a little walk of the hips from side to side as though you're snuggling your hips to your heels. Forehead dropping down between the arms. It might rest on the floor. Pressing the fingertips forwards and down, hugging your hips to your heels. As you inhale, lift the chest up just a little ways, looking forwards towards the top of your mat. And as you exhale, allow the body to sink down. So twice more, pressing down with fingertips, just feel that engagement through the arms, length through the side body. And then that release as you exhale. Just once more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. So taking a couple of breaths here in that child pose. So breathing into the back of the body, breathing outwardly into the sides of the body. Lovely. And then we'll plant the hands, making our way back onto all fours. So sliding hands under shoulders, tucking the toes under. Now, if you don't want to do a downward dog today, feel free to stay on all fours Or join me as you pick up the knees and lift the hips all the way up and back into that downward dog. Take a moment maybe to adjust the position of your feet. Find that neutral position for your head, either looking forwards, directly down at your mat, or between your heels. Lovely. As you inhale, pick up the heels, just rock onto the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, press the heels back and away from you. Inhale, lifting up onto the balls of the feet. And exhale, push the hips up and back as you sink the heels down. Lovely. Once more, inhale. And exhale. This time we'll try and keep the hips nice and high, leg through the body as you just have a little pedal out through the feet, foot to foot. Bending one knee and then the other. Oh, squidgy, squidgy walk there. And then that little squidgy walk, let's start to move it forward. So a little swaying walk up to the top of your mat, feet coming behind your wrists. Into a forward fold, nice and easy, both knees generously bent. You can cradle the elbows, have that little sway. Try and have your upper arms framing your ears there. And your forearms are just kind of weighing you down as you take that little sway. Obviously, if you don't want your head lower than your heart today, just bring your hands just onto your tops of your thighs there so you can lift your head above your heart. Lovely. Now from that forward fold, come to stillness. Bring your fingertips to the floor, so really generous bend of the knees. You're going to walk your fingertips over to the right side of your mat and then start to straighten your right leg. So fingertips reaching over to the right leg straightening, pushing the hip back. Bend the knees as you walk the hands back to center. And then we'll creep fingertips over to the left, straightening left leg. When I say straighten, it might not be completely straight. Lovely, let's come back through center, one more over to the right. And as you straighten your right leg, maybe reach that left arm a little further away from you, getting a stretch out through the upper back. Lovely, back through center, both knees generously bent over to the left. As you straighten left leg, right arm reaches further away from you. Woo! Come all the way back through center. Lovely, hands finding your shins or your thighs. Let's come up halfway. So a little firming up through the belly, taking the gaze forwards, front body parallel to the floor. Lovely, let's take an inhale. Exhale as you soften the knees. Lovely. Keep the knees bent, let the arms dangle in front of you. Roll your way up, take your time. We've been on the floor for a long time. Rolling your way up. Beautiful. Let me adjust the camera so you can see me. Beautiful. Let's soften the knees as we sweep the arms all the way up, interlacing the hands and freeing up through the index fingers. Inhale as you reach the arms up. Exhale, take a little side bend over to the right, just gently pushing the hips to the left. Inhale through center. Other side. So again, upper arms framing the ears. Inhale as you reach up, separate the arms, and as you exhale, big forward fold all the way down. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Hands finding your shins or your thighs as you lift up halfway, shoulders looping away from the ears. Exhale as you fold. Soften the knees, sweep the arms all the way up as you inhale. And as you exhale, hands drawing down to heart. Lovely. So we're going to add on now. I'm going to turn around so I can start to mirror you. So hands coming to heart. Let's reach the arms up, interlacing the hands and free up through the index fingers. So we've got the option to do exactly as we did last time, or slide your right leg back in a semicircle, just coming onto the ball of the foot, right foot behind left foot. Take an inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you take a little side bend over to the left. That little bowing of the hips over to the right, upper arms hugging the ears. Lovely. Come all the way back through center, bringing both feet underneath the hips. And then this time we draw that semicircle with the left foot. That's tucking, come on the ball of the foot, tucking it behind the right foot, take an inhale. Exhale as you take that side stretch to the right, so you're bumping your hips to the left. Lovely, we'll come back through center, bringing both feet under the hips, reaching the arms up, separating the hands as you inhale, all the way down as you exhale in that lovely forward fold. Lifting up halfway as you inhale. And this time as you exhale, we'll plant the hands and take the right leg back, knee to floor, keeping the toes tucked under. Beautiful. So just walking your way up that front thigh, both hands on your left thigh there. And think about gently pushing the knee forward. So you're dropping the top of that right hip down very gently, lifting up through the chest, and then we'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then we'll cactus the arms. So the arms are going to come down like a cactus there, or so you're being held up at a bank, palms facing forward. See if you can draw the tips of the elbows back, open up through the chest, maybe lift the chin, take an inhale. And as you exhale, reach forwards, back of the hands coming towards one another, or even touching as you round through the upper back. Inhale, cactus the arms, tips of the elbows drawing back, heart lifting, maybe chin lifting. Exhale as you take that lovely plunge forwards, reaching forwards, lovely. Just once more, so opening the chest, palms spread. Last time, hollowing out through the belly, beautiful. This time we'll arrow both arms up. Inhale, palms facing in. And as you exhale, bring both hands down, frame that front foot, and pick up with the back knee and pivot that right heel in, ready for a warrior two. So you might need to walk that left foot to the middle of the mat. Left hand to left thigh, and let that right arm draw a big semicircle all the way up and back before we come into our warrior two. So moving nice and slow, make those little micro adjustments. Front foot pressing forwards, back foot pressing back. Lovely. So we're going to come into a little flow here. So we're going to straighten that front leg, crossing at the wrists. Inhale as you reach the arms up. And as you exhale, we'll come back into that warrior two, arms at shoulder height, lovely. Left arm arcing all the way up and back as you inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, forearm to thigh, top arm up or up and over. Come all the way back through center, straighten the front leg, cross the wrists. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale as you sink deep into the legs, beautiful. Left arm arcing all the way up and back as you inhale, lovely, opening through the top of the head. Exhale, forearm to thigh, top arm up and over, beautiful. Just once more, all the way back through center, like you're taking off a big jumper. Inhale, lovely, we want to open up through the shoulders and the chest before we softly release into that warrior, lovely. All the way up and back, inhale. Exhaling, forearm to thigh, listen up. Going to inhale into our warrior two. And as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down, pick up that back heel, lovely. Drop the back knee, keeping the toes tucked under. Lovely. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, take that lovely cactus, drawing the elbows back, tips of the elbows dropping back. Think about lifting the chest, maybe taking a little back bend so you're opening up through the heart. Lovely. Reaching the arms up, take an inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, pick up the back knee, and use a little bit of momentum to step both feet forwards to the top of your mat. Lifting up halfway as you inhale, fingertips to floor, shins or thighs, and exhale as you fold. Bend the knees as you sweep the arms all the way up. I'm just going to come to the other end of my mat. Exhale as we bring the hands down. Beautiful. So let's take the arms up, interlacing the hands, pointing the index fingers all the way up, keeping the feet under the hips, or this time left foot. We draw that little semicircle. So you're coming onto the ball of the foot, little softness in the knee as you reach over to the right. So we're bumping the hips to the left. Lovely. We'll find our way back through center, sliding both feet under hips. And then we draw that little semicircle with right foot, just coming onto the ball of the foot, taking that lovely half moon stretch. Lovely. Upper arms framing the ears there. Come all the way back through center. Feet underneath hips. Separate the hands. Nice inhale as you reach up. Heart leads the way as we come all the way down into that forward fold. Lovely. Finding that halfway lift as you inhale. And as you exhale, big stride back with the left leg this time, knee to floor. I'm going to keep the toes tucked just to wake up through the feet. Walking my way up, so both hands just on that right thigh. And think about almost elongating that thigh, so you're gently pushing the knee forwards, just allowing the hips to sink down a little bit. It's not a big one, we're not collapsing there, it's just that little opening through the hips. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the arms up, back into that cactus. So you've got your elbows roughly level with your shoulders, tips of the elbows drawing back. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, we'll reach forward. So back of the hands coming towards one another. Lovely. Inhale, open up through the chest. So you're really opening up through those muscles across the chest. Exhale as you round. So if you've spent a lot of time at the computer, once more, that cactus position is such a good one because we've shortened all the muscles across the chest invariably as we round over our computer screens. Lovely. Let's take the arms all the way up as you inhale. Exhaling, hands finding the floor there. Picking up the back knee so we can drop the heel in. Maybe walking that right foot towards the middle of your mat. Lovely. Right hand to right thigh. So let that left arm draw that lovely windmill all the way up. And then finding that warrior two. Front foot pressing forwards, back foot reaching back. Lovely length through the arms. Ready as though we're taking that big woolly jumper off. Oh, that would be nice when spring comes. Straighten the front leg, cross the wrists, inhale. Exhale, look forward as you sink into that warrior two. Right arm lifting. As you inhale, come into that reverse warrior. Keep lowering the legs. Exhale, forearm to thigh. You keep that left arm reaching up or it comes up and over with the palms down. All the way back through center. Straighten the front leg. Inhale. If you're feeling really clever, you're changing the cross of the wrists. Exhale into that warrior two. But it's Friday. Nothing bad will happen. Inhale. I hope. Exhale, forearm to thigh, to palm up or up and over. Lovely. Last time, coming back to center. Crossing the wrists. Straightening the legs all the way up. Oh, lovely. Exhale back into that warrior. That's so nice. Opening up through the front of the hip as you reverse your warrior. Last time is that lovely side angle. Forearm lightly resting on the thigh. We're not dropping all the way into it. Lovely. Inhaling, coming back into that warrior two. And as you exhale, that windmill of the hands down, pivoting on the back foot. Knee to floor. Toes stay tucked under. Sweep the arms up, palms face forwards, drawing back into that little cactus. Elbows level with the shoulders. Draw the tips of the elbows back. And maybe lift the chest, lift the chin, so you're coming into a tiny, tiny back bend. Only if that feels good. Beautiful, reaching the arms up. We'll bring both hands down, frame the foot, listen up. We're gonna pick up the back knee, and this time step back into our downward facing dog. Have that little pedal out through the feet, pedaling out through the heels, and then dropping down onto one knee, and then the other. We'll find our way back onto all fours. Now make sure you've got some mat behind you, so you might have to do a little bear crawl forwards towards the top of your mat. Keep pressing into the hands, keep firming up through the belly. We're going to stretch the right leg back behind you. Ball of foot to floor, follow out through the belly so we're not collapsing in the middle there, getting a nice stretch out through the back of the leg. Beautiful. So you've got the option to stay there, that's a nice opening through the back of the leg, or start to walk your hands back towards that left knee. So that right leg is sliding back behind you until you're sitting on your left heel. So options here, you can either keep the back knee lifted, opening up through the back of the knee, toes tucked under, or just let the knee drop and flatten the foot. So it's a version of pigeon pose. So obviously if you've got the knee lifted and you're actively pressing that heel away from you, you're going to feel much more of a stretch in the front of that right hip. Beautiful. And then we take that little bear crawl forward, sliding both knees back underneath your hips. You might want a little wobble of the hips out there, and then we'll change sides. So pressing into the hands, firming up through the belly, sliding left leg back behind you. All of the foot pressing away from you, so you're active through the leg. And feel free to stay there. You're getting a lovely opening through the back of the leg. You're getting a little bit of stretch through the hip. Or if you want that little bit more, you walk the hands back towards your right knee this time until you're sitting on your right heel. Chest can be lifted, or you might have the hands further away from you. Options: knee lifted, heel actively pressing away from you, or lower the knee and flatten the foot. So your choice. Obviously, again, knee lifted, heel pressing away from you. You're going to feel more stretch. Try not to roll your body towards that right side there. Lovely. And then we'll walk our way back onto all fours, widening your knees, big toes pointing together. Let's sink back into a lovely child pose, reaching the arms forwards, let the body sink. Again, you might have that little wobble through the hips, nestling your hips towards your heels, elongating through the body. Forehead might find the floor. So we've got the option to stay there in a nice restorative relaxing child pose, or lift up onto your fingertips just as we did before, so your palms are lifted, and thread the needle, so left arm feeding under right arm, trying to open that top armpit a little bit more towards the ceiling there. Feeling a little stretch across the upper back as well as perhaps into your inner thigh. Lovely. And then slowly changing sides. So right arm threading under left arm, palm up towards the ceiling. And again, you're trying to roll a little bit over towards that right shoulder, so your left armpit's opening a little bit. Lovely. And then we'll come back into that child pose. A breath or so there, just letting the body rest. Ah, beautiful. And then when you're ready, walking your hands back towards your knees, point the knees forwards. We'll drop the bottom to one side and swish your legs out in front of you. Now, if you've got a strap or a tie or a dressing gown belt or whatever, you could just have it to one side. It's not essential. So don't go rushing off and getting one if you've not got one, don't you worry. We're going to ease our way down onto our back, keeping the knees bent. Just walk your heels back in towards you. And then we'll bring that right knee in towards your chest. So I'm not mirroring you now, I've got my right knee in. Please feel the need, I've got to lift my hips up just to rearrange my lower back there. So right knee in towards the chest. And just start a little bit of hip mobility there. So you might just want to open and close that right knee or have a little circle with the knee there. Just a little movement into the hip. We have done quite a strong opening hip posture when we were standing in our warrior, so a little bit of movement there just to ease it off. And then knee coming to chest, interlacing the hands just around the back of your thigh there. And if your hands don't reach, you can always bring your thigh behind your leg and draw that knee in towards your chest. So slowly, let's take that right leg up towards the ceiling, maybe a little softness in the knee. And check in with the muscles around your face, around your shoulders. Elongate through the neck as you tuck your chin in towards your chest. And just circle through that right foot. So I've got a nice softness in my knee. Lovely. And then take the foot around the opposite way. Lovely. And then we'll see if we can begin to stretch that heel up towards the ceiling there. Trying not to lift the hip up, so feel a real heaviness around the back of that right hip. Check in with the shoulders, check in with the face. And you might want to stay there, or slide the hands up a little higher, lifting your nose towards your knee. Other foot stays on the floor for stability. Lovely. We'll lower all the way back down. Bring that knee in towards your chest. And then this time, draw that right knee down towards your right armpit. Lovely. So you're just coming into a little bit of hip opener there. Trying, again, not to lean too much into that right side, so you can just still feel that your left buttock is on the floor. So I'm going to come into half happy baby. So option, lift head and shoulders. Take hold around the inside or outside of the foot. And as you lower the head, lower the shoulders, you take the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Option, if that's not for you today, you can keep the heel drop down and just hug the knee in. Or you can find your belt, take your belt around the sole of the foot and use your belt for a little bit of extra arm length there. So whatever we're doing, either holding on with our hand, using our band, or just bringing the knee down, we're all trying to open up through the hips. If you're in a happy baby, you're trying to bring your right shin perpendicular to the floor, flexing the foot, and you're drawing the knee down, a little bit of active drawing down through the knee towards the outer ribs there. Lovely. Breathing into those sensations in the hip. Beautiful. Slowly, we'll release. Bring the sole of that right foot to the floor, knee points to ceiling. Stretch out through the left leg, so stretch the left leg away from you. And then coming into half tree pose, or reclining tree pose, I should say. Sole of the right foot either above the knee, allowing that right knee to open, or taking the foot down a little bit lower. So take a moment there to have a little rock across your lower back. Feel the weight even across the back of the pelvis. You can bring the hands to the front of the hips and just stay there. Or if you want a little bit more, arms reach all the way up and back behind you. And you can stay there, just getting that lovely tree pose without the balance. Or catching hold of your left wrist. Just move your upper body slightly over towards the right side of your mat. Taking that left arm up and over. So lower body stays as it is. You've just picked up your upper body and slightly moved it over to the right. Drop the weight into that left buttock and stretch that left heel away from you. So we're getting a nice stretch through the top of that left hip there. Couple of breaths there, so no rush. Just nice open feeling through the front of the hips. Nothing too hectic. Lovely. If, like me, you've just taken that upper body off center, let's shift ourselves all the way back to the middle of the mat. Let's place the sole of the right foot to the floor, knee points to ceiling. Slide that left heel in and then bring that left knee in towards your chest. Let's make sure again that you've not shortened the back of the neck, and begin that little circle, or like you're opening and closing a gate there, a little bit of movement into that left hip. Right knee stays pointed up towards the ceiling there. Beautiful. And then interlacing the hands around the back of the leg, ready for that little hamstring stretch. So again, you can always bring your band around the back of the leg if your hands don't quite touch, and take that leg up towards the ceiling there. So you might be using your band, or you might have the hands interlaced. So we're all going to be very different there. Never worrying about having to use a band. Think about it as just an extension of your arms. It's just a tool to help us. So bring some movement into your ankle, and I can really feel I've been doing sort of running and jumping with my little Joe Wicks, and my ankles are feeling it. So lovely to move the ankle joints fluidly. A few rotations each way. And then we'll find that lovely elongation through the back of the leg. Heel pressing away. You can always keep a softness in the knee. Much better to keep a softness in the knee and the back of the pelvis heavy than try and straighten the leg and you're lifting your bottom up. So weighted down through the back of the pelvis. Option to stay there, or slide the hands above the knee joint, never on the knee joint as you lift head and shoulders. Lovely. Then we'll lower ourselves all the way down. We'll bring the sole of that left foot to the floor and stretch your right leg out. So heel kicking away, toes up towards the ceiling. So coming into that reclined tree pose, sole of the left foot snuggled in either above your knee or slide it below your knee if there's a little bit of discomfort in the hip. You can always pop your blanket or your pillow underneath that left thigh or knee for a little bit of extra support. Have a little wiggle there until you find again that evenness across your lower back there, back of the pelvis. You can keep your hands resting on the front of the hips, or both arms come up and over. And you can stay there, just reaching the arms gently back. Or moving your upper body over to the left side of your mat, catching hold of your right wrist this time and gently bringing your right arm up and over a little ways. Oh, hello, Nilu. You come to join us. Oh, you smell of cat food. Don't breathe in my face. I'm going to be a tree. That's it. Hello. I know. You're going to tell us a story for Shavasana. Thank you, Niels. Let's come all the way back through center, planting the left foot on the floor. Slide that right leg back in, so both feet planted. Let's bring the arms out level with the shoulders and just walk your feet towards the outer edges of your mat. Lovely. We'll take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, drop both knees over to the right, rolling chin to left shoulder. Nice wide-legged twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, a little roll across the back of the heels over to the left. And just continue now to move with your breath. You might start to gently push your hips in the same direction of your knees as you take that gentle rotation through the spine. Neely. Oh, lovely. And the next time that your knees are dropped over to the right, let's pause. Relaxing that right buttock, allowing both knees to drop down towards the floor. And if you want a little bit more, the knees are okay and your ankles feel okay, you can rest your right ankle, your right foot, on top of your left knee. Only if that feels good. Only if that feels good. So I feel good. You're attacking my mat. That's not very helpful. If you've got your foot resting on your knee, unhook that. Slowly bring everything to center. If you feel that your hips have moved, just square yourself up on your mat before you take your knees over to the left. Relax your left buttock. If you need to move your feet a little closer together, if your knees are pulling, then just adjust the position of your feet. Lovely. And then you can always pick up your left foot this time and place it on top of your right knee. Try and drop both knees down towards the floor. Sometimes that left knee wants to point up towards the ceiling, but see if you can allow both knees to be weighted down towards the floor. Lovely. And then unhook your foot. Let's bring the knees all the way back through center. Toe heel your feet until they're hip width apart, bringing them closer together. And then we'll stretch out one leg and then the other. We'll reach the arms back behind you, interlacing your hands. And as you press the palms back and away from you, flex your feet and gently press the back seam of the body, that which touches the earth, into the floor. Heels, the calves, the buttocks. And then relaxing that stretch, releasing the hands. So the back of the hands just find the floor behind you. And this time, point your toes as you reach back through the fingertips. You might even feel that your back arches a little bit from the floor. Lovely. We'll do that once more. Interlace the hands, push the palms away from you, imprint the back body gently into the floor. So you're feeling the back seam of the body gently engage. And then separating the hands, backs of the hands, find the floor, point the toes, maybe a little arching of the back as you stretch out through the front seam of the body. And then let everything relax like a big snow angel. Bring the arms all the way back down alongside you, little finger edge of your hands. Just nestled in close towards your body, but a little bit of space underneath your armpits. You can separate your feet, toes rolling in and out. Or you gently flop the toes out, heels in. The back feels uncomfortable. Walk your heels back in towards you, widening your feet and knocking your knees together. And again, you might want to arch your back, puff up your chest, snuggle your shoulder blades down the back. Maybe pick up your head, tuck your chin in towards your chest, and then very tenderly place the back of the head down onto the mat. Close the eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let go of something somewhere. Thought, pocket of tension, irritation from the week. Let's do that a couple of times. Breathing in. And breathing out, let go. Release something somewhere. Last time. And this time as you exhale, just fully give yourself over to the support of the floor beneath you. And give yourself permission to allow yourself now a little bit of time, a little bit of space for yourself. You don't have to be anywhere else right now for anyone else. So this is your time. And just begin to experience a sense of time slowing down as your breath begins to slow down now. We will move at such a pace. Even in lockdown, I think we still find it hard to move a little slower. So start to lengthen and deepen your breath. It shouldn't require any effort or great force. Long, slow inhale and that slow release as you exhale. And then try and create an evenness of your breath. An evenness might mean an evenness of your effort, an evenness of your awareness as your breath enters and leaves your body, an evenness in the length of each breath, or maybe an evenness in the depth of each inhale and exhale. And most of us rarely have time to just fully appreciate these moments to pause, digest the effects of our practice, our actions. So really enjoying what's these transitional spaces between the busyness and that permission to slow down, which many of us in itself might find very challenging. Just take a couple of moments now where you can immerse yourself in that experience of your breath. As you begin to just deepen and lengthen your breath, almost mentally preparing yourself to move before you physically start moving. The challenge is, can you allow that moment of slowness, those moments of pause to infuse the rest of your day, not just on your mat, but when you find yourself rushing, can you physically accept that challenge to slow down, resist the urge to move even faster? So begin slowly to move the body. There's no need to rush. A wiggle of fingers, wiggling of toes, maybe that slow rhythmic roll of the head from side to side. And you might want to slowly extend the arms back, extend the legs, find that beautiful full body stretch, and just relish that for a breath or two. Sense of space. And then when you're ready, you bring the arms back down, the heels back in towards you, the knees in towards your chest. And you can linger in stillness, you can move in whatever way feels good. Before you roll just quietly to one side. And then come up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you, Milu. That's kind. So hands resting on your knees and your lap, wherever feels nice. Even Milu's chilled out there. Lovely. So just close the eyes for a moment. And I'll leave you with these lovely words just to carry through into the rest of the weekend, maybe into the rest of next week. Between stimulus and response is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So let's bring hands together at the heart, slowly, slowly, bringing the chin to the chest and just offering each other best wishes for a peaceful, calm and safe weekend. And namaste. Thank you for coming. Thank you from Milu and me, my little fairy friend. Yes, I know. Even you're chilled out for once. So thank you, thank you. You turn that off.
Thank you, Helen.